What's the emergency?
No problem. All units are
Hi,
by
I'm
34
at
with
the
the
corner of
149
Pleasant Hill and John Young Freeway.
1519 East 18.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Crime Solvers Central. I'm Jayce.
And I'm Charlie. And today, we're diving into one of the most chilling, confusing, and heartbreaking missing person cases in modern history.
It's the story of Amy Lynn Bradley, a vibrant 23-year-old who vanished while on a cruise with her family in March of 1998. A cruise, surrounded by thousands of people. And still, she disappeared, seemingly into thin air.
And this case has haunted people for decades. Theories range from a tragic accident to sex trafficking to a cover-up involving people on board the ship. But here's the thing. Despite multiple alleged sightings, photos, and even a Navy officer claiming she asked him for help, Amy has never been found.
To help us break down the case, we're joined by someone who's done extensive work covering it on YouTube, Catie, the host of Tea Time True Crime with Catie. Welcome to Crime Solvers Central.
Thanks so much, Jayce, Charlie. I am thrilled to be here. This case is the one that really sticks with you, not just because of how mysterious it is, but because of the family, their strength, their heartbreak, and their belief that Amy is still out there. It's incredibly powerful.
So let's set the scene. It's March 21st, 1998. The Bradley family boards the Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Sea for a tropical cruise that starts in Puerto Rico. It's supposed to be a celebration. Amy had just graduated college, her brother Brad is home, and her parents Ron and Iva are excited to spend time together.
But just 3 nights in, everything changes. On March 23rd, Amy and her brother Brad go dancing at the ship's nightclub with the house band, including a guy named Alistair Yellow Douglas. That name's going to come up a lot.
Yeah, it certainly is. He was actually seen dancing with Amy. It's on video. They were partying, socializing, and Amy looked like she was having a great time. Brad left the club around 3:30 a.m., and Amy came back to the cabin shortly after.
Ron, Amy's dad, wakes up around 5:30 a.m. He sees her sleeping on the balcony lounge chair, but just 30 minutes later, she's gone. Her cigarettes and lighter are missing. Her sandals are neatly placed nearby, but no signs of a struggle. No screams, no witnesses. It's like she just vanished.
Ron starts searching the ship right away and tells the crew that she's missing. But they delay making an announcement. They actually let passengers disembark in Curacao before even alerting them.
Okay, ladies, if that was a massive failure, by the time they actually did announce it, it was already nearly 8 a.m. That is 3 hours after she was last seen. Security footage was minimum, and the worst part is the family cabin was cleaned before it ever was treated as a potential crime scene. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and there were rumors of her falling overboard. But Amy was a lifeguard, a strong swimmer, and even the Coast Guard search found no evidence of that.
And here's where it starts getting really strange. There were early witnesses who said they saw Amy with Yellow Douglas early that morning, around the time she disappeared. One said that he handed her a dark-colored drink. Another saw them together near the upper deck elevator.
Yeah, and then later that morning, Douglas actually says to her brother, Brad, "I'm sorry to hear about your sister." What? Yeah, that was like way before any announcement was made. That shook the family. And even though Douglas passed a polygraph, sort of, ladies, it was inconclusive, there are still a lot of unanswered questions about him to this day.
And it's not just him either. A waiter on board allegedly asked about Amy multiple times during the cruise, and he even tried to pass a note to her to meet up when they went to shore. Kind of feels like she was being watched. Now, over the years, there have been alleged sightings in Curacao, in brothels, in photos online, even in San Francisco. Some were promising, others weren't, but the family never gave up.
Yeah, I had to have tea on that one, ladies. You know, tea time, true crime with Catie. I had to have some hot tea, all right? So, but that's what keeps this case alive. The hope, the sightings, the photos. Even that Navy officer who said she begged him for help, you know, there are enough breadcrumbs to believe Amy may still be alive and possibly held against her will. There's been quite a few sightings. There was another one where a Canadian couple saw her, and they exactly identified the tattoos that she had, especially the Tasmanian devil tattoo on her shoulder.
And it's why so many people, especially after the Amy Bradley is Missing documentary on Netflix, are paying attention again.
Oh, yeah. Well, coming up in part 2, we will ask Catie to help us break down the biggest questions in the case, including theories, sightings, and what may have really happened to Amy Bradley.
Stay tuned. This case is far from cold, and it needs your attention.
What happened to Amy Bradley? She's a young woman who disappeared on a cruise 28 years ago while vacationing with her family. Did she fall overboard in a tragic accident? Was she kidnapped and sold to a human trafficking ring? Les Trent says the mystery is now the subject of a major documentary on Netflix.
Is the long-running mystery.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Catie from Tea Time True Crime with Catie, who's done an amazing breakdown of Amy's case over on her channel. Catie, again, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you both. I am extremely grateful to be here. Amy's case is one of those that grabs you and it just doesn't let go. There is just so much mystery, and yet, like, there's so many threads, I guess we can say earlier, breadcrumbs that we need to follow.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And that's why we wanted this part of the show to really dig into those threads. So, we're going to throw a series of questions at you. Some are from us, some came straight from the audience. So, let's unpack what makes this case so haunting.
Let's start at the beginning. Do you think Amy was still targeted while she was on the ship?
Absolutely. Based on the behaviors with certain crew members, like the waiter kept asking about her, or Yellow, who was seen with her that night, I think there's a strong reason to believe that she was watched or maybe even groomed while on board, especially those comments that you may have heard or not heard that they were complimenting her body, saying that she would make a lot of money in my country. Just very little things that now are starting to add up many decades later.
Wow. There's so much debate on whether she fell, she left voluntarily, or she was taken. Based on everything you've researched, what's your personal theory?
All in all, I believe she was taken in some sort of way. There are way too many suspicious elements, the missing photos, the balcony chair maybe possibly moved. I see a lot of those theories. I do believe she left on her own, but remember, ladies, it was really early in the morning. She complained of not feeling good. So either she went back to Yellow and asked, like, hey, did you give me something like in my drink? Or all I know is that Yellow earned her trust, and she either got drugged because, you know, even though she was very fit, she was very small. So she could have sadly been taken down pretty easily. She was a trained swimmer. She was definitely not suicidal. She had an amazing life to come back to after vacation. She actually just came out to her parents, though I'm sorry to say this, but her parents did not approve. It was the 90s. It was a shock, but that did not mean they did not love her daughter, you know, their daughter. But I do believe something or someone did entice her to get off that ship under false pretenses. Yes.
And let's talk about Alistair Yellow Douglas. What's your gut feeling about his involvement with all of this?
Man, man, man. Okay, ladies, I think that he knows way more that's ever said. Okay, I really do. Whether he was directly involved or just part of a handoff. I mean, his early comment to Brad, sorry to hear about your sister, quote unquote, before the ship even announced her missing, is highly suspicious. And some witnesses, like their statements, place him with Amy very early that morning. And it's not just one or two witnesses, ladies. It is like a couple of young girls saw him right on the deck. Amy and, Douglas, aka Yellow, were seen walking like behind them towards the elevator. And then when you see the Netflix series, which I definitely recommend, Yellow's real life daughter thinks her father did way more than what he says. And when you hear the conversation, which let me know, please, in the comments, you guys, what did you guys think about that phone call? Because I really think he knows a lot more that's been said.
Because I do have a question, something that I didn't know about previously that was brought up in that
Mhm.
conversation between Yellow and his daughter.
Yeah.
There was a suitcase full of photos.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? That really kind of threw me. I'm like, yes, why does he have this suitcase full of photos of women?
Yeah.
What do you have any theories around that or thoughts there? Or is there more information that maybe you know about that I don't? But I didn't expect that out of the documentary.
Yeah, that like threw me through a loop, ladies.
Yeah.
The way they're talking about it, not trying to be too crass, forgive me, that it is
Hmm.
some kind of, collection he has for carnal purposes, they're like playing it off. And I'm like, no, this is like Tarista's movie vibes. I don't know if you guys remember that, horror movie back in the day. I'm definitely aging myself, but it's where, these tourists were lured and their passports were taken. And sadly, it got way more macabre with the organ transplants, like the organs of the black market. I hope it's not that. But I do believe there was trafficking involved. I do believe those women, I don't know, but I feel like Amy was one of those that ruined his life. I mean, totally. Remember how he said, I hate the beach? He was
Yes.
like, "Who hates the beach?" I mean, I'm pale as snow,
Uh,
and beach and I have a different kind of relationship, but still, we love going to
Yeah.
the beach, right? To have some relaxing
yeah.
under a big umbrella with a book, you know what I'm saying? That's my beach life right there, ladies, but I do think that there was some more human trafficking involved. There are probably hundreds of women that are not accounted for. Or they were drugged and, like, maybe I don't know, maybe they were all targets, right? And he couldn't get these women. You know what I'm saying? Either they're 'cause a lot of those women were gorgeous, even though it may have been a reenactment thing, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what
Yeah.
these women look
Yeah.
like. I think there is definitely a more sinister reason why he had all those
Hmm.
photos. I really do, like,
And
my gut
Yeah.
why,
feeling.
yeah, and as
Yeah.
also why Amy's case especially had seemed to have such a lasting effect on him for whatever reason that may be.
Right, Jayce. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It made me sick to my stomach. That is a great question because not many people bring that up at all. And I couldn't find much about it except they're like, "Oh, he's got photos of beautiful women for, I guess, to look at him on his own time?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah. No.
no. These are actually women who he actually met." So, I do believe that. I don't believe he took them from the internet and printed them out and have a good old time. I really think these women were
Yeah.
real, and perhaps they were
Yes.
targets. Perhaps he was going to sell them or be like, "Ooh, what kind of woman do you like? Is it like her? Is it like her?" I mean, what do you feel about that, Charlie? Like, what was your feeling?
Th- That was my gut feeling
Yeah.
as well, that
Mhm.
he would probably have a suitcase full of those photos to show people as, yeah. Just like you said, like what maybe is this your type or is this your type? Or maybe,
Yeah.
maybe those women weren't necessarily from the cruise ship, but were also gone.
Vacationing or
I wonder
something.
if there's a picture of, I wonder if there was a picture of Amy in that suitcase.
Yeah.
And his daughter was young at the time, not aware. You know what I mean? Like she saw
Mhm.
the photo, or whoever the wife, I can't remember exactly who discovered the suitcase full of the photos. I think it was her mother, correct? Um, but
I
at the
believe
time,
so.
maybe there was a picture of Amy in there, but nobody realized it. I'm sure the suitcase is long gone by now with
Yeah.
all the photos, but
It was definitely a family
I
member.
don't know anybody who has a suitcase full of photos like that.
No,
That's not normal.
unless you're a serial killer.
That's it, yes, it is
You know what
highly
I'm saying? Yeah,
suspicious, is what
highly
I would
suspicious.
say. Highly suspicious. So,
Yeah.
alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, also, we know the cruise line delayed any public announcement or a lockdown of the ship, which is just mind blowing for me. What do you think? Do you think that hurt the investigation, them
Oh,
not making the announcement or locking down the ship?
is there a higher number than 100 million bajillion percent? I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Infinity.
sound, very silly. I'm smiling right now because this is a really tough case, and I'm sending positive energy to the listeners right
Yeah.
now. But no, I really do. I think they were very greedy. And there needs to be like stricter rules. I don't care if the little girl is 5 years old, 23, 25. The family paid the money just like everyone else, and they should have responsibility of keeping people safe, because cruises are not inexpensive at all. They're very expensive. So I believe they should have authority of like, hey, he could have just held it the gangway for 45 minutes. A lot could have been done for 45 minutes, and I believe in my heart that yes, there could be one or two that were angry, but whatever. But I think a majority of the people, especially back in the 90s, would be like, yeah, let's find her. What does she look like? And they could have all helped each other. I think this could have been just nibbed in the butt right in the beginning if greed wasn't involved.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's so true. I mean, so many things could have been avoided if this were tackled correctly from the beginning. And out of all the reported sightings, which one do you find the most credible?
That is a very tough question. Because, for a long time, I was thinking the military guy. I really was, like the Navy guy. But I feel like, he was drinking and she may have been, sadly, in human trafficking, a lot of the women are not coherent. In my research, they're either, dosed with drugs, especially heroin, to keep them, feeling beautiful and like in shape, but they're out of it kind of thing. So I'm thinking when she was trying to talk to him and he was like, oh, wait a minute, she just wanted to get off the ship to score drugs, but then she took the drugs and she didn't have the money to pay for the drugs. Now she has to work it out. I feel like there is some truth in there because she was a college student. But as I did my research, she wasn't doing hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like she could have paid for what she, did. But I think it was just, I don't know. I mean, that one was pretty believable, but I feel like it's too many years have gone by. And I think it was the case of telephone. You know what I'm saying, ladies? Because he could, he was in a brothel. He didn't want to get in trouble, and he was definitely inebriated because, he didn't understand what was happening. That one, but I believe, again, it's misconstrued. Another one I really, really believe, though, is the woman who found her in the bathroom. That was really
Yes.
documented very well. I had chills up and down my legs, my arms during that meeting. And I just don't understand why she couldn't have done more. Because the girl was obviously not from, where she was, and she looked really sad, and the lady kept saying and I'm like, well, if she looked sad and like hopeless, wouldn't you think he would do something? And, and like my husband's like, he was like, "You don't know what you'll do in that situation." Okay, but I kind of do though. I mean, I would make a flippin' scene, ladies. I would look like the most insane kind of person. I would scream the word fire, which that is really sad. If you want to get someone's attention, you scream the word fire instead of the R word that rhymes with grape. Apparently more things get done, ladies, when you scream the word fire, which is, but there has been so many sightings. Do I believe they're all true? Not all of them, but I feel like those two are pretty close, especially when she said, "Do we get to see the children afterward?" Do we-
I was going to ask you about that.
Yes.
What do you think of
Oh,
that
man.
comment?
That was something
Do we
new.
think she has kids?
Oh, man, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to. This case really
Yeah.
gets to me.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Uh, I do actually.
Yeah.
Because like 7 years later, remember the Dr. Phil episode came on with Jazz in the photo. I mean, I believe because the number one thing with human trafficking is the women are abused, right? But they really want them to get pregnant and have children because they'll use those children as leverage.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I
And
heard
that comment
yes.
of, do we get to see the kid? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
because she's such a
yeah,
sweet
it's tough.
person, right? Like that's what we keep
Mhm.
hearing. She was a very nice person, and I do believe that if she had children, she would love them no matter how they came about, because your children are your children. But that one threw me through a loop, ladies. I looked that up. I couldn't find much of that, so I really applaud the investigators on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so do you think, if we, from that comment, if we think that she has children, that could be a means and a way to keep her there
yeah.
and for her to not come back or even try to leave because you want to protect your kids and you want to be there for your kids, right?
Yeah, I feel like that was happening for years. Her
Because I
yeah,
I also kind of feel like that it tied into, I remember at the very end of the documentary, the hits on a website on her birthday and
yeah.
on Christmas, and somebody sitting there for, like, 45 minutes. Do you From that, do you still think she's out there? Do you still think she is alive today?
Personally, I wanna have hope, um,
Mhm.
but like I said in my podcast, I don't. I think she was one of the ones that was very strong, and she fought, like, she fought every time, and even though she had kids, I mean, there's so much stuff you can take, and unfortunately, when women get older, we get less expensive, and, um, I just
Mhm.
first of all, I do not wish the parents of the Bradleys listen to this, but if they do, I send you healing energy,
Yeah.
um, and I love that they have hope, but I'm not trying to make this like I mean, I hope this isn't like Sylvia Brown where, the poor Cleveland case, she said that the daughter passed away, but she was actually like 2 miles down the road. Remember that, ladies? I know I'm definitely aging myself. I feel in my heart that she is no longer here with us. And I feel like the person who was watching her is like just trying to keep her memory alive or doing a homage because so Barbados and the Caribbean, they practice a lot of spirituality. Sometimes it's a type of voodoo I researched. That's how we would say it's voodoo, but it's definitely called something else. So forgive me. I think it's called hoodoo or something like that. I don't mean any disrespect. But I do believe that if people have a guilty conscience about what they've done, and the way we hear about Amy, the way she's alive, like in our hearts, and how the awareness goes. I feel like she's really, really loved. And when you met her, she just was impressionable, right? So I think perhaps her attackers, every year, they're also trying to see where they're at the case, which that really upsets me, Charlie, that we have all this technology, right, Jayce? And they're like, yeah, somebody is looking at these video for 45 minutes. And I'm like, well, where is the flippin'
Right.
IP address?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
And they're like,
Exactly.
we can't.
Are you kidding?
We
Oh,
don't have
we
jurisdiction.
don't have jurisdiction international. I was like, well, we're America. We've done way more. That was none of our dang business. Am I right, ladies? So why can't we go and see who that IP address is? I pray it is Amy. I pray she has the most beautiful
I do
babies. And she's just so broken and sad to see her parents again. I pray that she is alive. But when you saw that podcast that I did, and I had that horrific vision and dream, me personally, I don't think she is with us any longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say I definitely hope she is, because
Oh my God,
something
yes.
that
I hope I'm
hit
wrong.
me in the documentary
Yes.
was the parents that, like, every day we wake up and we say maybe today, and every night we go to bed and we say maybe tomorrow.
Oh,
And we
God.
would rather have hope than have closure.
I don't know about
Holding it together right now.
holding it together.
Oh
God.
Those words are so powerful and say so much that, wow, that family, I've never experienced or seen anything like them before. And
Never.
I just watching them, like, I will hold hope for you guys forever and ever too. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, that was so powerful.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
even have her little Miata still in the garage. Nothing has been
Yes.
touched for 30
Mint.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boxes of things, her wallet, everything from
Oh,
the cruise,
the
literally
the
everything.
points. They kept
And the brother, we said, like, it's never if she comes home, it's when. They never say if, they say when. Like,
I know.
yeah,
And the
we need
brother
Amy
never had
Bradley to come
children.
home.
Yeah, we need her to come home.
Because he's like, I couldn't bear the heartbreak that I've seen my parent. Like, it's unnatural. No
Yeah.
parent should lose a child. That's unnatural. And I've never seen anything like it.
It's really,
Never.
really sad, but their hope is right?
Is.
Charlie, I'm just like you, love. I'm like, even though I had that vision and those horrible nightmares while doing the case, because I got really too much into the
Yeah.
cases. But I get into every case. I mean, I'm passionate about every case that I do. So, but that one, I don't know. My husband was there, and he was, my God, he was bawling his eyes out at the end of the documentary. I have never seen George
Yeah.
that upset. He was like, he's like, baby, it's just
Yeah.
so sad. The family has so much
Yes.
hope. He's like, but you
Yes.
and I,
Yeah.
and I was like, I know, we're not even gonna say it. Like, I mean, it was just, I really hope she comes home. I really hope they get
Yes.
answers. They get all the answers that they want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of want it to be fairyland for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
Yeah.
delirious. Like, just,
Yeah.
yeah.
In their position, it's hard not to have hope when they have
Wow.
so many gaps in the information.
Yeah. I know, but sometimes people use that again for greed. Like, remember that
It's
horrific,
true.
that guy who pretended to be a private investigator at
Yes.
FBI and like did fraud. Like, oh my God, that
Yeah.
family was like up to what, 100,000 or something? That it wasn't even true. Like this PI hired these models to look like Amy and to look
It's
like the people
disgusting.
who are, yeah. And it was until,
Disgusting.
and he borrowed that money from his boss. Like, and the way I read about, Amy's father is that he has a lot of pride. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of pride and a lot of love for his daughter. And, he's from the insurance world, which, insurance world is a different kind of anything. I partly do some of that. So I totally understand how tough you have to be in that field. So, I mean, it's just what the fraud was horrible, which did you notice, ladies? They didn't even mention that in the documentary.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Not at one
didn't.
point.
Yeah, but they mentioned
I was
other
shocked.
things too. Like other documentaries, they mentioned it, but not this one. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe we
Yeah.
think the dad was really embarrassed, ladies, about it. Like, God dang it, I got duped hardcore. What do you think, ladies? Like Jayce, did
That
you?
Possibly.
that wouldn't surprise me that they
Right.
would want to leave it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're
It's
yeah.
especially if they had any, like, let's say, with Netflix or whatever, if part of it was like, hey, we get to look over this first. And if there's something that we're not in agreement in, like,
Yes,
you guys
Charlie.
have to agree to,
Yep. I agree.
because they had full family participation and insight into,
Everything.
everything. So maybe they're like, yeah, no, we don't want to revisit that. We don't want to relive that. They've been through enough. It's like they really more than anybody should
Yeah.
ever have to be through.
I mean, the
and that
ex-girlfriend was sad. Wasn't that so sad?
Oh,
And that
gosh.
message in a bottle.
Heartbreaking. In a bottle?
Oh my gosh. The chills about what the letter said. Jayce, how did you feel about the letter?
Yes.
It was really
my
weird.
gosh.
It was like a premonition in a way.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a month
It's-
before she wrote that, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. That was insane. I agree. I felt the exact same way. I'm like, yes. Too crazy, too similar, I can't think of the word, but yes,
Yeah,
I know
that was a new
exactly.
one. See, that was a new evidence. I
That
had
was
no
new?
idea. Yeah,
Oh.
because a
Right,
lot of
Well, she had
exactly.
said
thought
she had
was-
never shared that
No.
with anybody before.
Nope.
That's right. She did say that.
Nope. A lot of
Mhm.
people thought she was just, excuse me, I don't like to judge anybody, but Virgo comes out of me sometimes. But I had a feeling, I'm
Ooh.
like, she's not straight. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at her. She's very athletic. She has really short hair, how she carried herself. I was like, maybe she has like a bisexuality kind of vibe. And then when the documentary was like, no, she came out. Like, this is her ex-girlfriend. And I was like, oh man, that makes it way more sad, especially if she was taken into human trafficking, right? Like, God bless, But
Yeah.
no, the message in a bottle really freaked me out.
So many aspects of this case are so disturbing, and I know it's an uncomfortable talking point, but I do have to ask, what do you make of the photos that have surfaced online? The ones with the woman who looked like Amy named Jess.
It was really tough. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was really tough to look at. Pardon me. Because, the ones we saw were, when she was kind of did like the bridge kind of movement, like almost on her back. It's where, her tattoos were being obscured. But when they showed like her, like on all fours, topless, my heart like broke. I do believe that was Amy. I know people were like trying to doubt it and everything, but I loved how they got professionals to like, they matched the cheekbones and the body, the face. I mean, when you look at Jazz, she looks like she's seen so many things that she shouldn't have seen when you look into those eyes.
Yeah.
You see help me in those eyes. And pardon me. And it was just it was a lot, because I'm sure we all were kind of thinking it. I mean, back in the 90s, human trafficking wasn't, sadly, I feel like it's always been happening for thousands of years, right? With
Mhm.
internet, social
Yeah.
media, it's becoming mainstream, especially on TikTok. You see all the tips now, how to become not
Yes.
in human trafficking. It's really scary. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that was Amy. I do believe that she was into sex traffic, like in human trafficking. Remember, they said it was in the Venezuelan and Caribbean kind of website for women. And when we scrolled
Exactly.
and saw those other women, ladies, like a lot of those women didn't even look like it was consensual at all. They looked
Yeah.
completely out
Yeah.
of it, glassy eyed. It was just, it's really, really sad. But this is a case, though, that I believe she saved a lot of people in a way, because I
Mhm.
feel like this case brought way more awareness, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like that she was the Joan of Arc, you know what I'm saying? I really don't. But to do a positive, side about this, a lot of people were starting to wake up and realize this wasn't just in like Disney movies, aka Pinocchio. Am I right? Yeah. I didn't even realize that was human trafficking when you watch Pinocchio. Remember that? You ladies,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
OG
About the
story, especially.
donkey.
Yeah.
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 It's
So,
crazy when you watch some things back as an adult and
yeah,
it
it's
completely
it's
Mhm.
crazy. But to go back to the picture, I do believe that was her. What about you, ladies? Charlie, Jayce, do you believe that
I
that was
agree.
her?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I do agree,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
yeah.
Same. Yeah.
It's tough. I can't imagine, because it was just sent to her parents anonymously, like it was nothing. There's no warning, no like, "I am so sorry to disturb you," nothing. It just send the pictures. So,
Wow.
other psychics believe that after that picture came out, you know, uh, she was definitely really hidden after that. She became way too mainstream. But who knows? I mean, have you guys heard any other, like, psychics or anything talk about this case? And if so, what did you guys hear?
Mhm. No, I have
Nothing
not.
recently.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's horrid what I heard. I'm like, "I hope none of that is true. I don't wish any of that on anybody." You know what I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it back to Frank Jones for a moment,
Yeah.
the man who scammed the family. What does that say about how vulnerable families can be in these types of situations?
I mean, I don't like to say this out loud, but put yourself in their position. What would you do? My God, you would
Right?
do anything you could to get your daughter back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're right, Charlie. That brings them into a very vulnerable state. It really does. And sadly, there are monsters out there in all kinds of shapes and forms. And Frank Jones was an
Mm-hmm.
absolute monster.
Yeah,
Absolute. I believe he
absolutely.
had to pay back in restitution or something. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, you need way worse than that. I mean, to give that family false hope,
Yeah.
excuse me, to give that family false hope is just, you are
Do you
like,
think he had done this before?
ooh, yeah, to be so competent in what he was doing. Yeah, I think he did. Because no one just does that out the gate really well. I mean, he hired people. Like,
Right?
how would you know to hire people? I mean, he literally did a
Yeah.
good job, I hate to say it, for a while. It took
Exactly. Yeah.
somebody from the outside, right, Jayce? It took somebody, like
Mm-hmm.
a big boss man, to be like, "Yo, yo, to let you borrow any money." I was like, "I'm gonna double check that this is legit." And that
And
makes
Mm-hmm.
me
I do
mad.
wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder if not only is it possible that the father maybe didn't want to bring that point
Mhm.
up as a way of resurfacing pain, but I also wonder if there's like maybe an ongoing investigation going on
Ooh,
with him. So
yeah.
that might be why they
Could
wouldn't be able to
be.
go into the details.
Oh, it could be, Jayce. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually a really
That's just
good
me spitballing, but it's
statement.
entirely
Yeah,
possible because
100%.
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem like it would be the first time that he'd done something like that.
No, I think it may have been started small, right, ladies? Like, con artists start small, like pickpocketing and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, I mean, it could have been like, I mean, a crime ring or something. You don't know. You don't. Like, when you think about it, yeah, this Frank Jones guy, sorry, but that sounds made up as mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really his name? Probably not. Probably not.
Probably
So,
not.
right? Yeah, Charlie, right, Jayce? I mean, I don't think that was his name,
Yeah.
but I hope he, you know, I hope he gets what he deserves. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish ill will towards anybody, but you make your bed, now you gotta lie in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. And of course, I know how I feel about this, but do you think cruise ships are held accountable enough when it comes to missing persons?
That is, I do not think so at all. Like, what's really scary, ladies, and it's very true, is that when you're on a cruise ship and you're in international waters, you are no longer in America, okay? And countries, without being, very controversial right now for this podcast, they're not like, they have different rules and regulations and beliefs and traditions and stuff like that. Not, I wish we all could agree on love is love all over the world, right? I wish we could agree if a child is missing or kidnapped, we all would, you know, like rescue them, but sadly, a lot of it is like, we're not dealing with this, or we're not just, or they don't think that women like us, which is really sad, we don't have many rights in other countries. We really don't. We're like second class citizens. I feel that cruise ships should be held way more accountable because are not, they're not. Like, so many other cases have happened that there's not enough time or a day to even talk about. You know what I'm saying? I think that since, North America, we're on cruise ship, we should follow by American rules and regulations. I really think so, but unfortunately, they don't think that way. They don't. They think that the crew members are from different countries and we have to follow their traditions, but my whole take on it is I understand with respecting people's traditions and things like that, but I do believe that we should help each other more. I think we should have more open communication. Don't be afraid to say anything. Be like, hey, you know what happens if this was your daughter, cruise director guy? Which that guy is from, here, which, sorry, I mean, I'm not sorry, but that guy, whew, he gave me the bad vibes. Am I right? That cruise director guy. But I mean, I think we should be like, hey, help us, but a lot of people are like, hey, stay in your own lane. And
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's how cruise ships are, though. Stay in your own
Yeah.
lane. Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who might have been there, who may have seen something? You strike me as a see something, say something kind of girl.
Yeah.
100%. So
100%.
anybody who was there that, on that cruise that night, the next day, what would you say to them? That's like if they saw something, maybe they're afraid to come forward.
I think it's really funny that you say that because I am that person. Like, I'm that kind of person that, that is, if I see a girl very uncomfortable at a bar where a guy is talking to her, I will like look at her, give her a look, go right by her. And I'm like, excuse me, are you done talking to my girlfriend? And then they look at me and they're like, thank you. And I'm like, no worries. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just have that face where people trust me, which is awesome. Honestly, I would say if you are second guessing yourself, like, oh, you know what? It probably was nothing. It's just a flicker of a memory. No. Open your mouth and say something. You will heal a lot of hearts, and your words matter. That's what I would like to say. I would say anything that you remember, how little, how small, the timing. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing in the case, ladies, that yes, we saw the timestamp when the door opened, but we don't see it when they leave, which is frustrating as mess because the FBI could not get the timing right. They could not get the timing of when she was taken, how long she was, because even the girls that, saw them, I mean, I bet they weren't wearing watches in the 90s, 1998. So they couldn't tell the FBI exactly that time. But if you literally see something, say something, for love of God, please don't think you're okay. I don't like when people call people Karens or Kevins or whatever. I'm like, I know some really nice Karens and Kevins. All right, number one. But number two, you're not bothering anybody. That's what I want to tell you. There is always somebody who wants to hear your voice, especially if it's going to heal a family in some kind of way. So I feel that people are worried that they're going to bother us or bother them, and I'm like, no, open your mouth and say something. You could literally save the next person that will go on board.
Completely agree. I mean, excess information is so much better than no information.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, that was an incredible breakdown, Catie. We really appreciate how much work you've been putting into understanding this case.
Thank you. I really appreciate, you guys choosing me to talk about it. I'm extremely humble and grateful, and I send positive energy to the loved ones involved in this case.
Awesome. All right. Well, coming up in our final segment, what you can do to help, from contacting the FBI to sharing Amy's story. There are real ways to make a difference. So stick around.
Rhapsody of the Seas.
Amy Bradley was 23 and she was on her family vacation.
The water was crystal clear.
Life is good, everything's great. Told her to see her tomorrow and went to bed.
This case is one of the hardest ones that we've covered. And I think it's because we're not just talking about a decades-old mystery with no leads, right? Like, if we're talking about a case with lots of leads and with sightings and eyewitnesses and photos, and yet there's just still there's no closure.
And Amy Bradley didn't just vanish into thin air. She was taken from somewhere, whether it was off the ship or after leaving it, and someone out there knows the truth. Maybe it's a crew member, maybe it's someone who saw something but didn't think it mattered.
But, Jayce and Charlie, that's why these conversations matter. Every time Amy's story is told, we keep that door open. We keep hope alive. And we remind the people involved that, we have not forgotten, and we won't. I mean, this has been like a worldwide phenomenon now. Like, it's everywhere, but we need to keep talking about it to keep the hope alive for the wonderful Bradley family, because I can never imagine what they are going through, Jayce and Charlie. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, I fully agree with you and would never, ever want to be in a position like that. So, yeah. So, here's what we can do. Here's what you can do right now if Amy's story moved you. If you have information, no matter how small, call the FBI or submit a tip to your local field office. If you're outside of the U.S., report any tips to the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. Visit FBI.gov. Amy is still listed as a missing person. The FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for info leading to her recovery or the arrest of anyone responsible. The Bradley family has also offered $250,000 for Amy's safe return and $50,000 for any information leading to her current location.
And you can also visit our site, crimesolverscentral.com, for a list of verified contact links, tip lines, and ongoing updates. And we'll have resources linked in the description below this episode.
I just want to say, Jayce and Charlie, everyone who does this podcast, you guys are absolutely incredible. Please, guys, go to crimesolverscentral.com. I'm being honest. Like, I can't you guys are amazing. I'm serious. I went through it. You guys are doing so much more than a lot of actual investigators are doing in the United States. And I just think you guys are awesome for that. Just want to let you know.
Thank you.
I do. Like, I was
Thank
like
you.
crying looking at your site. I'm like, oh my gosh, and the universe wanted us to meet. I am so grateful. So I just want to let you know it just means a lot to me. I just want to let you know. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Share.
Thank you, Catie.
Yeah. I mean, you
That
guys,
means a lot.
it is like, you're not doing
Yeah.
this for clout. I can feel it in my heart. You're not doing it for views or likes. And I feel like that's why, the universe, you and I all met because we want the same
Mhm.
thing. We want closure for the families. We want awareness, so sharing matters.
Yes.
Okay, so if you watched the new Netflix documentary, please, guys, watch it. It is very well done. I mean, I just like whizzed right through it. I said only one episode a night, and then that didn't happen. I just binge watched the whole thing. Please post Amy Bradley's story on all of your socials. Use the hashtag find Amy Bradley. Awareness brings pressure, and let's make this a pressure cooker, guys. Let's make this to the point where the people who never had guilty consciences began to know Jiminy Cricket and began to have a conscience, okay? You know what I'm saying? So please, pressure brings progress.
100%. And don't underestimate how small actions can ripple outwards.
Exactly.
A retweet. Yes, exactly. A retweet, shared photos, a comment that sparks someone's memory.
Absolutely. And Catie, thank you again for joining us. Your insight, your heart, your passion for this case, it all really did come through.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone at this podcast. This case hits me deeply. And if you do check out my podcast, you probably know that a lot of cases hit me deeply. Every case that I talk about hits me tremendously. This case, I do believe it can be solved. I do believe we can have some answers, but we have to keep telling Amy's story. We have to keep asking questions, and like I said, ladies, let's be pressure cookers and keep pressing for answers.
Yes, absolutely. And to Amy's family, if you're listening, our hearts are with you. Our hearts are truly with you. And to the audience, and you're not just viewers. You're part of this. You're part of the reason her name stays alive.
And if you have suggestions for cases we should cover, or if you've got tips, go to crimesolvercentral.com. You can also subscribe on YouTube, follow us on social media, and share this episode to help amplify Amy's case.
And if you're in a dangerous situation or know someone who might be a victim of trafficking, we've linked hotlines and rescue organizations in the show's notes as well.
That's all for today. The truth is out there, and someone knows something.
Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay loud.